This conference will now be recorded.
5 is quorum.
But I'm leaving at 5:55. I have another meeting at 6.
Yeah, I got your message, Sally. You're good to go.
Okay.
All decisions will be
Okay,
made.
calling to order the RAC meeting of December 11th, 2024. Attendance, we have everyone here except Rupal. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
Nope.
Seeing none. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for today? Anne? Okay. Second, Melinda. All in favor? Okay. Okay. Review of draft minutes for October 23rd. Any questions or comments about the draft minutes?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Can we have a motion to adopt the minutes of October 23rd? Sally? Okay. Second, Melinda. All in favor? Okay. So no delegations, Kim?
Nope.
Okay. Let's start with a recap and review of the Menorah Pumpkin Trail Night.
Emma, did you want to just talk a little bit about how many people you think, and how much money we brought in and all of that good stuff?
Yeah, so we did a bit of a change this year. I don't know if anyone noticed. We shortened the trail just a teeny bit, just to put more pumpkins in a smaller space, and we seem to have good feedback from that. Definitely the most people and pumpkins we've ever had donated. We were talking about on the night of about approximately 300 people, which then did bring in $193.45 worth of donations. And council did give us a budget of $1,500, so that brought our total revenue to $1,693.45. We did have a couple expenses like the new banner that we had. We ordered some more candles and the heater and propane. So the total expenses without wages, our staff wages, was $472, bringing the net surplus to $1,221.45, again without staff wages.
Okay, so Emma, just to recap, we received $193.45 in donations.
Yes, correct.
Great. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the financials?
Well, it would be interesting to know how much we would have got in donations if we hadn't had Mono Nordic collecting donations as well.
I was going to bring that up. I'm not sure if everyone was cognizant that the Mono Nordic table did have a donation jar out, which we weren't aware of. So when I found out, I felt a little embarrassed that we were asking for donations at our table as well, because that meant that people were coming along and getting their hot cup of apple cider where there was a donation jar out, and then they came to our table and we've got another donation jar out. So I did feel a little I was not aware of that going to take place, and I did have some challenges with them putting a donation jar out without being aware of it. So, thoughts on that?
Did they share with you how much they took in that night?
No.
Because I would imagine being there, they were before you on the trail. So I'd imagine the majority of people, had they come to make a donation as part of their plan, would have donated to them instead of your table.
I just checked, but I'll be up there in about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Dave?
But they were also giving away hot apple cider. So people who were coming would have the impression that their donation was helping to cover the cost of the cider.
Yeah, and I thought about that, Dave, but one of the reasons we did it was in order to help them promote hopefully new registrations for the club, where they would, you know, get registration money for that. I didn't foresee them wanting to be reimbursed for the hot apple cider through donations.
And to be fair,
Okay, well,
they
I
wouldn't.
agree that they probably should have told you that they planned on doing that.
Yeah.
And we provided the propane and the burner and the pot and the spoon and all the stuff too, right? Like it was a
Yeah, we paid for the propane. Yes, we provided all of the, hardware, I guess you could say.
Mhm. I'd like to see moving forward. I'd like to see moving forward the town of Mono just does this. It's the town of Mono. The town of Mono is offering the work. It's our staff that does it. We have all sorts of grumblings. I don't know if anybody has watched our council meetings, but council grumbles about the money that's spent on recreation, and I think recreation is super important. And I think that I think that we should just do it on our own.
But okay, I also think, okay, sorry.
Sally, go ahead.
Okay, I also think that Mono Nordic and other clubs in the town of Mono provide recreation, and I think we have to acknowledge that and maybe just communicate better with them. And because I think we should, they do a lot. There's 4 different groups in the town of Mono that do a lot.
Right, but the Mono Nordic is completely flush with cash. They don't need donations, frankly. But we had a presentation from them at council, and they, despite the climate change and so on, they've got a very robust club, more so than any of the others, and the town of Mono isn't. The town of Mono and the recreation department comes from, the tax dollars and the ratepayers, and so it would be nice to be able to give back to them without asking them to donate to more than one thing. But I mean, we did also have a food bank, right? The whole drive thing, interestingly, this time of season, and we're all proud that Melanchthon challenged Mono and Mono won, in that we donated a ton to the food bank, but it wasn't the food bank. We got food bank donations. Like Emma, how many pounds did we end up with that night? Did you tally that before we added it into the?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the email from Shelby.
Okay. I think we had 124, if my memory is serving me correctly. Emma?
Pounds of food.
124, correct, yeah.
So that's a big thing, and the actual giving the donation, having our town of Mono donation jar was kind of like a real total extra, versus you're right, Dave, when you're being given something at the moment, i.e. a cup of chocolate, it almost makes you feel beholden to also put money in the bucket, right? Like it's an interesting concept versus having here, if you want, come and enjoy our evening, but if you want to get carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, let's just make sure we understand who's doing what, and if we don't want them to collect donations, then say so.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was a matter of not understanding. It was a matter of not knowing.
Well, okay.
Melinda, may I just ask a follow-up about your comment about council feeling that there's too much money being spent on recreation. Is that recreation in general, or is that RAC committee events that you're referring to?
Well, you're right. It's an interesting thing. The recreation, there's often the murmurings of, the whole town hall, not the town halls, our whole community centers cost more than they generate, and so why do we have those? We hear that from the residents, and then and disappointingly, we heard that from council this year as well. But the events that the town puts on and RAC are kind of married, right? And yesterday there was a discussion where Kim's keen to bring to us, and I think we should. We've been talking about it for a number of years. Some programs specifically for our aging population, and we had a modest number in the budget, and everybody balked at that. Like, whoa, what's this for? So it's a combination of things. Just the idea that a lot of unless you're involved in something, you really don't appreciate what's entailed. Like just to mow the lawns of our lovely gardens or our lovely parks costs thousands and thousands of dollars a year. So
I only ask because I've brought it up at a number of our meetings about the idea of sponsors for our events, and usually it's come up that about the problems that are involved with that coming from council, and at some point I would kind of like to sit down and hash out whether we can do it or not. But I mean, if council is complaining about the cost of our events, but also complaining about whether or not we can, accept sponsors, I would just like to get some resolution on that eventually, because that may solve both problems.
Yeah, no, good point. Good point. The council feels fairly strongly, I think, though again, the question hasn't been asked directly, so maybe we should do that. They seem to feel pretty strongly that we don't want that we want it to be the town providing things. But then when it comes down to budget time, they're keen to cut stuff. So, but you're right. Maybe the RAC needs to come and make a delegation to the council to ask for clarity on that.
If I put it out there to the committee, is anyone against us looking for sponsors for some of our programs? If council is talking about our budget being a little bit too high?
Well, I'm not sure. They did question the $3,000 that we put in for some possible senior programming, because it was new. They hadn't seen that before. I don't think they specifically questioned, the amount of money they give us for Winterfest, or they did question Make Mono Shine, which we'll talk about in a few moments. It's on the agenda. They did not question the children's Halloween party. So, what they were doing is, and rightfully so, is they were trying to find spots where they could save a few pennies. And because recreation is one of those areas that they understand, as opposed to, public works and how much it costs to buy a new tire for a grader, which that kind of thing is never questioned. And I totally understand that. They do recognize in recreation, well, why do you have to spend, an extra $200 on this program as opposed to not spending it? And normally all they're looking for is an answer to that, to, what that $200 is going towards, and then they're good with it. But they're also looking for value for their dollar. So they didn't try and say to us, you know, you can't have that much money for Winterfest, you can't have that much money for children's Halloween. And even when it was explained to them what the money was used for Make Mono Shine, that money all stayed in the budget as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And we got the extra $3,000 for possible senior programming. So yeah, no, Mike, I don't think in answer to your question, are they, you know, are they kind of going bah humbug on our programs? No, I really don't see that. I think they'd like to see even more programs, to be honest with you. The more we can do for our residents, the better, the happier council is. I think more where they're looking at is our community centers and, you know, and monies that, you know, we spend at the parks, and, you know, why does it cost X amount of dollars to cut the grass? Maybe we can only cut the grass every other week as opposed to every week, and, you know, those kinds of things.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I feel like we run a very lean operation here. So if they're still mentioning the funds, then there is only one solution, is to get some sponsors.
I think a big thing with sponsorship is committees or our sports groups have come forward asking if they can, you know, put signs up at their different locations for sponsors, and that's something that a policy, a potential policy, has to go forward to council to see whether or not they want to do that, as well as, you know, do we want to do a sponsorship for our children's soccer program? That's a huge money. It costs a lot of money to run that program, but we also run it pretty much revenue neutral, almost revenue neutral, or right. Emma's very, very good at keeping track of all of the expenditures, and this year, you know, we're forced to put the price up by an extra $10 per person, but that's because our prices are going up as well, between what we're having to pay to rent the fields out at Mono Amaranth School. They're going to be more this year, and uniforms go up every year, so we had to put the prices up for soccer this year. And that's just the way it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments about the Pumpkin Trail Walk? Nope. Okay. Seniors programming discussion.
Well, this is something that we put on the agenda because we have been asked, or comments have been made about you know, what do we do for our seniors in Mono? What exactly do we do? And I know during COVID, we reached out to seniors through that partnership that we did with the, I think it was the city of Oshawa, for their online programming, and that was for a 55 plus audience, and they did bingo and things like that to try and get the seniors involved. But since then, you know, we're out of COVID, and the question is what exactly do we do in Mono that focuses specifically on 55 plus population? So I know I wanted to talk about it with you at the last meeting. Unfortunately, we had to cancel that meeting. But one of the things that I came up with is running what we call a Senior Superstars program. And the gist of this would be to reach out to people who are 55 plus or even 60 plus, whatever you want to refer to a senior as, and ask for those individuals who have a special hobby, an interest, a talent, that if they would like to share that with others, we'd be very willing to talk to them. And we would offer them use of space at our community centers during the non-prime time hours. And we would advertise the program for them. They would just basically, we would do registrations if it was even a registration necessary type program. And, you know, we would open up the space and possibly charge $2 per person to come to cover the cost of coffee, tea, and maybe some cookies while they're there. But they could do things like, and this is just literally a couple of things that I put together, but maybe start a book club, chair yoga, maybe play euchre once a week. Special interest talk groups, dancing, knitting, crocheting, scrapbooking. Do they like to draw? Do they like to paint? Playing cards, which such as euchre, board games, or even hiking. Those are a few that I came up with. But what we're looking for are senior superstars who are willing to lead these programs at no cost, just strictly out of interest of wanting to share their hobbies with others. So this was an idea that I came up with. It was something that Emma and I spoke about, and in some of Emma's previous work experience, she'd seen programs such as this run up at Wasaga Beach, and it was very successful. So I was thinking, why not give it a go in Mono?
Sounds very good. Ann, I'll get you in 1 second. Sounds very good. Is the town willing to provide spaces for free for these programs to run?
It would be during the non-prime time hours. They gave us a budget of $3,000. So we've got some money to work with.
Okay. Ann?
So I just had a question. I see that you would be asking some seniors to run the program. And would it be for seniors only, or would it not necessarily have to be seniors that are attending?
Yeah, it would be, this is focusing on seniors, so it would be,
Okay.
yeah.
So seniors would be invited to run it, and seniors would be invited to learn from these other people.
Yeah.
That part wasn't clear to me. Thank you.
That's the idea. I mean, unless you have other.
No, I'm fine with that.
This is very much in the infancy stage of trying to come up with some ideas of how we can reach out to our seniors. You know, we do have challenges at our community centers in via transportation, and not all seniors drive. You know, unfortunately, we're not on a bus route at either one of our community centers. So I know that is a challenge. I have no idea how to overcome that. I've certainly been talking to our CAO about possible ideas, but I'm just trying to come up with something to let them know that they're important.
Now, if there were yoga instructors or like Tai Chi instructors willing to go to Menora Park, like during warmer weather months, would there be money for those instructors from the town to run classes, or are you strictly asking for volunteers?
At this point, this program is strictly asking for volunteers. So like what I don't want to get into is an instructor coming to me and say, well, I charge $60 an hour for my services. Like mind you, there are grants out there right now. So that's another possibility is if we come up with some type of idea of what we would like to see, what opportunities we'd like to see for the seniors, is, you know, could we possibly even apply for a grant to run a program for them?
And that is often the difficulty, because if you get a professional teacher, they're going to, for the most part, run a better, more successful class. Whereas if you get a volunteer who's not a professional, they may not get repeat attendees.
Yeah, and sometimes it can just be as simple as, somebody likes to make, I don't know, like it was so weird. Just the other day, I was sitting in the hospital waiting room, and a lady saw me knitting, and she came up and wanted to know all about my knitting and what I was making and all of that. And then she proceeded to get her phone out and show me all of these incredible Christmas decorations that she's made for her tree from paper or toilet paper rolls. She's just made these amazing decorations, and she was very happy to share that with me. And so it could be just somebody as simple as, yeah, I know how to, if anybody's interested in learning how to make some Christmas decorations, I'd be willing to do that. Emma, if you want to hop in here and just talk a little bit about what you saw at Wasaga Beach, because that was certainly what motivated me when you told me about it.
Yeah, so they have an extensive volunteer program there, which is how this senior programming started. So, for example, it didn't need to be extreme talents like fitness instructors and all this. We had one lady that liked to make evergreen centerpieces. So one time before Christmas, she would bring in the stuff and they would pay $5 or whatever and make this evergreen centerpiece. There was some people that like jewelry making, so you could pick your necklace, your bracelet. Again, just small little things. It didn't have to be some extreme that were multiple weeks. They could just be different crafting. We had people that came in and led, again, book clubs, knitting. So they'd work on, like, say, for example, a scarf. So for 2 weeks, they came in twice a week and they completed a scarf by the end of it. And the volunteers loved it because they were able to share their knowledge. And then also all the participants, it's a cheap way to come out and get doing something to get out of the house. And we know that seniors are on a tight budget. So that way it's a small cost, but they were able to come away with doing something and learning a new skill that in turn, we had one lady that did the Evergreen workshop. The next year, unfortunately, the lady had some health problems and she couldn't continue it. So one of the past participants took it over because she did it. So it just kept this kind of rolling snowball with all these volunteers. And then once a couple people saw this event or this program, then they had a special talent. Again, it's just a rolling snowball. And once people see it, they want to get involved and help out and share their skills.
Yeah, I like the idea of arts and crafts, cards, things like that, because you don't really need much of a budget. You don't need a professional instructor to run things. So I think there's definitely some space to try some of those things.
Yeah, I like the concept. I think it's good, and why not put it out there and see what kind of response you get? It's going to depend on people coming forward. So it'll need to be marketed, publicized so people know about it and that there's an opportunity. I think the cost would be minimal. So there's lots of upside and not much downside.
It was a feature of the survey, no, that people are interested in that. The recreation survey, you asked that question. Yeah.
And people will have to buddy up to find a way to get there. It's not on the town to get people there. We live in Mono. We have to get in our car and do anything. So they're going to need to find a relative or a friend to go with.
That's
I don't think
that.
That shouldn't stop people. I mean, people in Mono are accustomed to getting in a car and going places. to the doctor, to the grocery store, wherever they go. And 90% of the people playing pickleball are over 55 and they're all driving to the pickleball court.
Good point. Good point.
So the other thing is referring to the buildings, the Mono build. There's two buildings. There is the one at Menora Park, and there are many seniors that live in the Watermark subdivision that can walk over where transportation is not, a big deal. They can walk over to Menora Park. So I would say that just to have maybe a balance between the two buildings where some things happen at Menora and other things happen at Mono Center where a car is critical to get to.
Yep, good point.
But also, Anne, the people that live in Watermark have the opportunity to do precisely this kind of a program in their own community center.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a building.
Do they?
Yes.
Do they use?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whether they
they've got
do
a
that
building
or
within
not.
Watermark where they can do this.
So organization is always a piece to remember. Organizing the time, the person in charge, registering, collecting the money. I mean, it doesn't just happen spontaneously. There is a staff component to be considered as well. I mean, I'm in favor of the concept for sure, but it's not just going to run itself. There has to be a staff person that coordinates to run it smoothly, to open and close the building. All of these pieces have to happen.
You're right, Ann. You're right. And that's part of the $3,000. Yep.
Does anyone know if Watermark's seniors activities are open to guests?
I think the answer to that is no. It's purely for the members of their own community.
Okay.
That's what I understand. I had a tour a couple of years ago, Dave, to see their facilities, and they're lovely. They're lovely. But I understood that it was for the residents of Watermark.
Okay, well, at this time, should we pick a couple of ideas to start with and see what happens,
Or yeah, or maybe we just put a general ad, on Facebook and all our social medias, just saying if you're a senior with a special interest that you'd like to share with others, let us know about it. And like that, I wrote, this is what I wrote. Are you 60 plus? Would you like to start a club, share an activity or hobby of yours with others? The town of Mono is presently looking for seniors who would like to share their talents with others. Maybe you would like to start a book club, chair yoga, special interest talks, dancing, knitting, crocheting, scrapbooking, art, playing cards or board games, or even hiking. We'll offer you the space to hold your activity. We will advertise it for you. You just need to be willing to share your expertise with others. Let me know if you're interested and we can explore these opportunities together. That was.
I didn't see the word volunteer there. Maybe I missed it. I think it's important that you include the word volunteer, because people might say, oh yeah, this is a place for, I'll charge $10 per person for my chair yoga.
Good point. Who would like to volunteer their talents with others?
That would help. That's clear.
Yeah.
But the other thing I'm concerned about is, maybe I'm overthinking it, but there's always a liability issue with things like this, especially if you're saying, okay, chair yoga, that means those people may have a disability, they may not. The person running it may be qualified, may not. I just worry a little bit, things like that, or line dancing, or that could create a liability issue.
Yeah, for chair yoga, like anything like that, and they would have to be certified. That's just something that we always make sure of, that anyone who's teaching that type of thing is a certified professional for that, fitness instructors, all of that kind of thing. So, but if you wanted to share how to, learn how to knit a sweater, I think the liability would be very low on something like that.
Yeah.
Emma?
Just to add to that, I can't remember 100%, but I believe any of our fitness classes for the seniors were certified instructors. They gave us a discounted rate. I'm pretty sure because of liability, but all the other ones had no problems going ahead with, like the knitting, the sewing, the crafting, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so, maybe what we do is
I would just put a provision at the bottom to notify prospective people that if it's an active physical activity that they'll need to be certified.
Mhm.
But that sounded very good, Kim.
Okay.
Mhm.
That way we've put it out there, and if people ask questions, we'll say we're working towards the goal of developing this program.
Yeah, and I mean, if it turns out we don't get any, I mean, hope we get some response, but if we don't, then, maybe we do have to look at paying instructors to come out and do this type of thing specifically for the seniors. But let's just see where we go with this, and hopefully we get some type of response, and it would be great. We started out our ping pong program like this with volunteers, and now the ping pong program is doing quite well. So
Good.
Okay, put it out there.
Okay. Where
okay,
are we?
so that's a go ahead. That's a rack.
For sure.
Is
I like
anybody
the
here?
sound of that. Do we need to make a motion to put that out there?
It's probably a good idea.
Okay. A motion for the write-up for Kim to put that on social media to attract some potential volunteers. Who would okay, Dave first. Anyone second the motion?
Second that.
Anne, all in favor? Okay. Okay, Halloween party.
So this is just our annual review of what we liked and what we didn't like. I have to say that our change this year of asking people for $5 per person was not in any way a detriment to our annual party. If anything, it was extremely successful in that everyone who registered, Emma, I think, what did we have? About 6 people who registered and did not show up, and we ended up getting 6 people at the door who hadn't registered. So that was a big change from the year prior, where we had over 100 people who had registered and did not show up, and we ended up having to turn people away, thinking that we were going to be full to capacity, and we weren't. So the $5 registration fee, just from the aspect or from the perspective that it motivated people to come, certainly was successful. And we didn't, Emma, I don't think you had anyone who challenged the $5, did you?
No. I have the
Mike,
financials pulled up too if you want me to go over them.
sure. And then Mike, I'm going to get you to just talk a little bit about the haunted house and how things went down there, because not everyone gets to visit down there.
So with the registration being $5 per person, we brought in $1,370 for registrations, and that'd be on top of the council budget that was $2,500, which brought us to total revenues of $3,870. Our total expenses, which would be our online registration fees, as there's a small amount, about $50 from that. Entertainment, cupcake decorating supplies, kitchen supplies, decorations, the treats, the pumpkins, the door prize gifts, the loot bag supplies, came to, again, without payroll, $2,424.93, giving us a net surplus of $1,445.07.
So that 1,000 and change would be put towards whatever staff expenses the Treasury Department put that way. So I can safely say that that was a break-even event. So that was great to be able to put an event on for that number of people. What was our final registration, Emma? Almost 200? 170 or something?
274.
How many?
274.
Wow, 274. So that's amazing. And we certainly get a lot of accolades afterwards from people who've enjoyed themselves. So congratulations to everyone for another successful event. That's always one of my favorite events. I know it's a lot of work for all of us, but it is certainly one that's really enjoyed. I find it particularly special to think that I'm now seeing grandchildren show up from, I used to bring my own kids to this event when they were, very small, and now my kids are bringing my grandchildren to this event. So I find that phenomenal that this event is still running as long as it is, and it's just as or more successful than it's ever been. So it's great. Dave or Mike, did you want to talk a little bit about how things went downstairs?
Well, yes, thanks to Dave and Dave for all the work they put into putting it together. That is one of the toughest jobs of the year, for sure. So we definitely appreciated that, and we made it scarier than ever, darker than ever, creepier than ever, and had a lot of good laughs. Made a lot of people cry and refuse to go through it, and that's what we wanted. So it was a blast.
Well, my 3-year-old grandson went through it, and he was scared out of his mind, and we held on tight. And when we came out the back door, the first thing he said to us was, "Let's do it again."
Good to hear.
Yeah, it was good. It was really, really well done, Dave. Mike, way to go. It was great. And Dave, thank you for the loan of your all your Halloween paraphernalia once again. It makes a big difference.
Well, we've got to give credit to your staff, Dave Matkowski. He put it all together. I gave him a few things, and he came and got them, but he did a lot of work, I think.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed that. And Shelby, please don't forget Shelby, because that girl is an absolute wonder when it comes to pretty much any task we put in front of her as far as decorating or making things happen.
And also thanks to Craig for
Yes.
bringing some of his stuff or making it available.
So there we go. So do we have a date for that next year, Emma? I'm sure Emma's got it booked for us.
Oh, it's October 26th, the same day as my birthday. That's how I remember.
Oh, yeah. So put that in
While
your
it's
calendars.
while it's still recent, is there any notes from anybody about whether we had too little of something, too much of something for next year?
I think this was one of the first years that we had almost the perfect amount of pumpkins. They gave us 300, and I want to say there was maybe 20 left over, if that, which were just donated along with pumpkin trail pumpkins to farms. So normally we're left with a good chunk on the deck, and this year we didn't.
But once again, because I think we knew how many people were coming to the party, it really helped us with when Emma was ordering the pumpkins.
And in terms of the kitchen, there wasn't much waste, or they didn't run out of something too quickly?
No, the kitchen, just thinking back, we had the Rice Krispie squares, we had the cookies, all were again well received. Yes, Anne.
Well, I was happy to hear all those cupcakes I made were all gone this year. Whereas
What?
last year there were like, I don't know, 50 or more left over that went into my freezer that obviously did not make it any further. And so I think having people register is a real plus. $5 is not outrageous at all, but it's enough that people have a little bit of skin in the game, so they show
Mhm.
up. So we
Yeah.
make 200 cupcakes or whatever, 250, whatever, and they all get used, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to Euchre Night.
What did we have? We had 48 people, Emma. Is that what the final? Yeah, 48 people for euchre. Obviously, our goal is always 60, but it's always great when we can manage to get those what do you call it? Those multiples of 4. So and Dave and Sally, thank you for once again pitch hitting with your euchre playing skills. It's awesome, and so that was really great. Now, one thing we did note, Emma and I, after this event was, and maybe it was just this one specific event, was not a lot of alcohol was consumed. Like everyone is given a ticket for one free drink, as or not free, but included in their registration is a drink of wine or a can of beer. But over and above that, we did not see a lot of alcohol consumption. I think Emma, you've got how much money was brought in at the bar.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I'm just looking here. Bar revenues were only $94.
And I think we charge $5 a drink, or is that correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and then
So-
$1 for the non-alcoholic beverages, which a lot of those went, like the pops. I got cranberry ginger ale, Diet Coke, and those were flying off the shelves. A lot of that was non-alcoholic beverages.
Right. So Em and I talked about this right after the event, and one idea that we came up with is to possibly run this similar to how wreath and wine workshops are run. And the way we do that is everyone again gets a glass of wine or a non-alcoholic drink, whatever they want. We have both with their registration fee, but then that's it. We only buy enough for wreath and wine for what we know we're going to be serving. So throwing it out there is if we want to change this up a little bit and say, yes, we will, we'll still have a glass of beer or a glass of wine, or but then that's it. After that, it's non-alcoholic and it's $1 a piece. Or do we severely cut back on the amount of alcohol we purchase and just say when it's gone, it's gone? Or, I know there was that one time we played and we ran out of, what was it, Dave? I think we ran out of beer.
Beer.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's,
so I'm just throwing it out there to you guys, what you think. The other thing is that perhaps we purchase, we go back to purchasing from the LCBO and the beers and the beer store, so that what is not consumed can be returned. Where at Adamos and
almost standard.
Mono Brew, they don't have a return policy.
Emma?
And to also add to that, with the not like with the Wraith and Wine, our liquor license is only $50 because it's a non-sale permit. So it's just $50 flat. Where with right now with Euchre, our permit is $150 because it's a sale permit. So that's that extra $100 charge if you are selling alcohol. So that's another charge to consider.
Yeah, I'm surprised by those numbers. I mean, when Emma mentioned all the pop that was sold, that would mean was probably 8 to 10 additional alcoholic drinks for 48 people. Like that's shocking to me playing cards, because the last few I was at, we had trouble after some of the breaks starting on time because there were so many people at the bar enjoying their drinks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I was really surprised. I will say that at how little was consumed. I know, and kudos to those in attendance who very much are aware of ride programs and being responsible consumers of alcohol. I think that's a real what do you call it, positive thing to bring out of this, is that people are saying, no, I want to be careful. I want to be responsible. So I think that's great. I'm just, how would you like to proceed? We can proceed status quo. We can cut back, or we can go right. We can try the just one per person, and there won't be any sale of any alcohol.
Dave?
Well, I'm not sure that this is a new trend or if it's simply an aberration or a one-off. Personally, I like to have a beer when I'm playing cards. And I think on that evening I had 3, but I had a designated driver, which was Sally.
Great.
The group was a little different than some of the people we've had in the past, but quite a few of the same people were there, and they drank less. So I'd be reluctant to go to the no sale option at all, unless we try it one more time. Maybe reduce the amount that we purchase, but I don't know if I'd want to, go all the way to the option where we don't sell any at all, because I think some people would miss it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that this is a trend. It may just be an outlier, an aberration. I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about the purchase of the wine and beer, and I understand why you want to purchase them locally. But those, they do not allow you to return it, is what I'm hearing. So we must have lost a little bit of money at the last one, because
what we're successful in doing is we're able to transfer it over to our Wreath and Wine evening.
Okay,
And,
so
yeah.
so it isn't. It is being used for other events, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we
So that's,
still
that's
came away
good.
with a profit, just not as large as normal.
Yeah, I don't love the idea of cutting people off after their token drink, so I'm not in favor of that. But I would also suggest a number of, or at least an option of the new trend of non-alcoholic drinks that are with I don't even know how to describe them, but the popularity seems to be skyrocketing of beers and wine tasting. Um, they taste like beer and wine, but there's no alcohol in them. They're all
Okay.
over the place in the grocery store shelves, so they must be being purchased in large numbers. So maybe we should offer
That's a
those
good idea.
options as well.
So I'm just wondering what would happen if the next time you advertise the event, that it be a no alcohol event. I wonder if that would cut down the
Well,
numbers
for
significantly.
like this event, we can't because already the registration's already been up and opened and people know they're, so we can't do it for the Valentine's Day. Like we could potentially do no alcohol, but it's already been advertised as for the Valentine's Day one.
Because maybe the alcohol is not such a big deal. Maybe people have their first drink because it comes with the cost of the ticket to join. To play, it includes a drink. But I wonder how many people really don't much care, other than Dave, of course, who says he likes to have 3 beers when he's playing cards. But I just,
There's always been a lineup. I don't know what happened to this last one. I was not there, but in previous card nights, there's always been a lineup at the bar.
I think
It
it'd be
occurred to
interesting.
me
Oh, sorry, Dave.
that,
Yep.
okay, that maybe what we're buying is not familiar to our customers and therefore they're not purchasing as much of it. I mean, I like the idea that we're supporting the local brewery and the local winery, but I know like when I'm behind the bar and people come, they say, "Give me a beer." And so I say, "All right, what kind do you want? This one or that one?" And they all have a kind of a puzzled look on their face because they're not familiar with that beer. And
Okay.
maybe if we had Labatt's Blue or Coors Light or Molson Canadian in the fridge,
Okay.
we might sell more. I don't know. It troubles me that people aren't familiar with and are not patronizing their local craft brewery, but it may be part of the reason why people aren't buying so much. They're not familiar with that particular product. And maybe the same goes for the wine. I mean, who knows what whipped is? Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
It's
I
true.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
A more familiar product might sell better.
I agree.
Okay. Okay. Well, why don't we try at Valentine's Euchre, which falls right on Valentine's Day this year. Um, I think you might have a really good point there, Dave. Why don't we then purchase more well-known brands from the local LCBO and from the beer store, which then is returnable, as long as the case of beer is not opened and the wine obviously is not unscrewed, not open. We are able to return what is not consumed. So why don't we give that a try
Yeah,
and
and there
find it?
are also a lot of well-known producers of beer and wine in Ontario. So it's not like we're going overseas for this product.
So we'll buy Ontario based. Okay. But I also like your idea, I think, Mike, that you mentioned of offering non-alcoholic wine and non-alcoholic beer. We'll sell it for the exact same price, the $5, just no alcohol content in it. I think that's a great idea.
We do that currently at the curling club, and we sell it for the same price as normal beer, and it's not skyrocketed, but like compared to what we have seen in past years, it's really high. Like we're buying cases from Costco.
So just for everybody's information, the cost of non-alcoholic is almost the same
Ah,
when you
okay.
buy it in the store as alcoholic. So
Okay.
they should be sold for the same amount.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Okay. I mean, we'll still have some pop and stuff there for people, and obviously we always have our water. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That helps.
Just
Make,
before we move on to
yeah,
the next
yeah,
topic, I'm gonna have to head off. So I have
okay,
curling, so I will see everybody later, and then I'll follow up
okay,
with the watching the recording.
okay. See you, Emma.
Okay. Thanks, Emma.
I am.
Okay. Did we lose Melinda as well? Oh, no, there's Melinda. Okay.
No, there she is, straight there.
Okay. Okay. Make
She's
a
moving
new
to another
business.
square.
Make Mono shine.
Make Mono shine. Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this. I guess this is a bit of a follow-up because I wasn't at Make Mono shine this past year, unfortunately. But Emma has shared some of the discussions that you had with the meeting following that event, and that the number of those who attended was really down, like really down this year. And so, like even to the point where you thought about maybe we should just cancel this event totally. I hate to see something where we're trying to encourage, be good to your environment and educating our residents as best we can about the environment and giving them opportunities to get rid of roadside garbage. I hate to see that not happen in some form. Thus was the reason why I had Emma. I started doing some looking and seeing what other communities are doing, and I'm pretty sure the one that I had her send to you, the one that I liked the best was what I was seeing is going on in Collingwood. And if you wanted to, did everyone get an opportunity to look at that email?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, this is an open discussion on what you think. How you would like to
It
proceed.
seems to me that people in Mono are just not really turned on by the idea of going out and picking up garbage. I mean, we've had this event now, what, 3 times? We've never had a really big turnout.
We've
A
also
couple of
had
times-
really crummy weather every time.
Well, but we had bad weather a couple of times, but I think on this most recent one, it was quite a nice day. We held
Okay.
it later in May. It was quite a pleasant day, and that didn't bring people out at all. In fact, we had fewer people. So I wondered if maybe it's time to do something different. Like last
Yeah.
year, on the same day that we were having Make Mono shine, just down the road on the Whitetail Refuge Nature Reserve, they were having a tree planting event. And they had like 100 out there planting trees. Maybe we should do a tree planting event. Want to pick a piece of town-owned property, or if that's not available, a piece of property owned by the Bruce Trail Conservancy, and advertise a big tree planting event. People can come out and plant 1,000 trees or whatever.
But
Melinda? Yeah. Yeah.
that's a
Melinda?
great idea, Dave, as an activity. But the point is to that Mono, I mean, yes, we have, and again, this is up for discussion right now, but I mean, we have piggybacked on Earth Day, but it's really not about, carbon sequestration or whatever. It's about garbage and about cleaning up our town after a winter of yucky people littering. So
But
so
I
you're right.
disagree. I disagree.
People don't, well, that's how it started. I mean, that's the whole point of Make Mono Shine, is to clean it up. So if it
And I'm
has morphed,
suggesting we change the focus.
if it
I
wants to
think that
morph,
Earth Day is more about climate change, and climate change is a much more important issue right now than picking up trash.
Dave, this wasn't a Earth Day it wasn't an Earth Day event. It was piggybacked on Earth Day, but it was a cleanup day. So if we want
Right,
to
but it
change
hasn't
it to
worked.
be some sort of an Earth Day thing, then that's different. But recently there's been some trees that have been planted just because some good doers wanted to plant trees, and they're needing to be taken out according to the Heritage Committee. So there's a lot of competing ideas about things with respect to how to save our planet, versus the idea that, litter is disgusting and let's just clean up is a much simpler, easier, unpolitical thing. But the idea that
Right.
that it's clear that our Mono residents are not interested in doing that, that's where it was interesting, this one that you guys sent about Collingwood, where there isn't, it's an event to celebrate the spring coming and Earth Day and all those other things, and the garbage is a kind of like an incidental thing that you get an opportunity over a period of time to collect the garbage. Because talking about budget, in actual fact, the cost of this event is staff time taking the garbage that, frankly, taxpayers and people who drive through our town who shouldn't be garbage littering in the first place, it should be on them to get rid of the garbage as opposed to us, the staff time. Kim, what were the numbers for, even though we didn't have a great turnout and great poundage of garbage to say, yay, we're terrific? What was the cost of it actually to us last year?
The cost of the program was just over $1,800 last year. In previous years, it's been over 5,000 with the amount of staff time that.
So on the
but
one
we-
hand, yeah. So on the one hand, you commented.
Yeah.
So you commented to council yesterday about
Yeah.
how, yay, let's get us up to the $5,000, because that would imply that we've had this ginormous amount of litter pickup, and then Mono does shine. And if we don't have the litter pickup, then we're not getting the poundage. We're not getting the pounds. It's not because the litter's not there. The litter is there. It's that the citizens didn't pick it up last year because they were busy planting trees, or it was a nice day and they're busy out on their bike with their kid, or whatever they were doing, right? Like it's a hard sell to be the litter picker upper, right? But Dave, if you want to change it to an Earth Day, that's a totally different thing. Let's embrace something completely different. But
It isn't an Earth Day, and it wouldn't be, because Earth Day is the 23rd of April, and that's too early to plant trees. Trees are generally not available to the end of April, so you'd still want to do it in early May. I just think we're not getting any buy-in. People are not interested in doing this. So, why keep bashing your head against a wall?
I agree, except there's a date and it's been advertised. So we're a go for 2025, right? Tim?
Yeah, we're
I
sitting.
think
We're
that,
sitting. Actually, we're sitting on the date right now. The newsletter. I've not put anything in the newsletter, or I've held space in the newsletter for it. But just going on what I was talking about with council was I was kind of doing a bit of a bit of both here. One is holding something where we do recognize, yes, this is a cleanup Mono. This is Make Mono Shine. And so one of the things that they've done in Erin is people are welcome to come to the town office and you can get actual stickers for it's not additional garbage stickers. These are stickers that say, you know, make Erin shine or whatever it was. Ours would say make Mono shine, and you could come and you can get these stickers, and we'll provide you with garbage bags, and we'll even give you plastic gloves or latex gloves, whatever you want, and then you can place the garbage at designated spots. And what they do is they allow it to be put in their parks at the garbage containers at the parks for one whole week. People, you know, from basically a Saturday through to a Friday, you can pick up garbage, you can put it in one of these bags with Make Mono Shine on it, leave it at the garbage can at the park, and then Mono staff would, instead of doing a weekly visit to pick up garbage at the park, they would, for that 1 week, they would go daily to the parks and pick up whatever people have left there for them. Now, this is not meant for you to clean out your garage and think you can put a Make Mono Shine sticker on a garbage bag, and you know, poor Dave's going to be hauling off garbage to the dump that, you know, otherwise residents should be responsible for. So those, you know, some of the nooks and crannies of this have to be worked out, but I was thinking that we could do a combination of both. So we either run this program, you know, at the beginning of May, and then say, okay, starting tomorrow, and we hand these bags out at Make Mono Shine. So starting tomorrow, you can leave garbage at the parks, at your local park, at the garbage containers, and we will come and pick it up. And we'll do that all week. And this is the kickoff to doing that. And it's, you know, it's like a 2.5 hour event with a big encouragement for people to do that. But, you know, and obviously if people want to bring garbage in that day to that event, they can as well. But, or do we do this as the wrap up to the event? Okay, so we've had Earth Week or this whole past week, and people have been out, collecting garbage, and at this point we've collected, 1,000 pounds of garbage thanks to you guys, and so this is our big, so glad you helped us out, and continuing on with an Earth theme for a 2.5 hour event. That's kind of where my thought process was going on this, but again, just wanting to bring that to all of you for good open discussion on how you want to proceed with the event, or change it up 100% like Dave has indicated, mentioned possibilities.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of a drop-off location that's not monitored, because that's just going to invite just illegal dumping, and there's no way to control it. Like if it was between these 2 hours of each day, and we could have a volunteer stationed to make sure they had tags, to make sure they were dropping off appropriate garbage, sure, but just saying drop it at near a park, it invites all sorts of problems.
Yeah, but that's what they were doing in Collingwood as well. They were saying, pick up the garbage and leave it next to the garbage container in your local park. So that's what Collingwood was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And they were not monitored by anyone.
Mike, I think it's a real concern. Knowing. I mean, when you look at our Facebook groups, I follow the two that Mono has, and the ones in Orangeville and Shelburne and New Tecumseh around here, and often there are posts of people who are taking a picture of what's left in their swale, or whatever you call it, beside the road out front their house. People just come and dump. Right, that it is, people are looking for a place that's no cost, I guess, because certainly you could go to a regular place and pay, right? So you do wonder whether people would take the opportunity to pick up a couple of cans in their ditch, but also put the, whatever old stuff from the basement or garage or whatever too. I mean, it is I don't know how to police it.
Well, and what's to stop someone who's doing a home renovation or something and doesn't want to hire a bin and just dump off a dump truck in our local park full of stuff? Like, I don't like it.
I don't like to accuse or be suspect of our residents, but I think it's, yeah, it does bother me. It does, yeah, red flag.
And Mike, what you say is is well taken, because we went through some challenges at one of our dumpsters, where a local resident was doing a home renovation and felt that our dumpster was his own personal spot. Thus the reason why we now lock our dumpsters.
Yeah, like at the back of restaurants and stuff too, right? They're mostly these days covered up. I think it's an ongoing problem or whatever for everybody. So I don't know, maybe Dave's right. Maybe it's time to like change it from being just garbage to something else to make the town shine. I mean, what does happen with the garbage? If we don't pick it up, and we haven't done this event for the last 3 years, who does pick it up?
As far as I know, it's just, people pick up in front of their homes, in their ditches in front of their homes, their lot lines, and just add it in with their own garbage pickup. I don't live in the country anymore, but I sure wish I did. But that was pretty much what we did.
There, at this event, there are each year 6 or 7 hardcore families that are there every year
Yes.
picking up garbage.
Yes.
I know some of them, and whether we have this event or not, they will continue to pick up garbage. So yes, I think we may need to talk about, whether we change things or not. Because they're responsible for probably picking up at least 50% of our total every year. And they're not doing it for the raffle or the prizes. They're just doing it because they're good citizens, and they will continue to do it.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm being very conscientious of the time here, and we still haven't talked about Winterfest, and yet at the same time, I also need to move forward with this because I've got a newsletter that's going out in a few short weeks that has to have something, or maybe we don't have anything.
How about we take a break for a year? Reassess. It was just so disappointing. So disappointing last year.
And all those people who came out and set up their yard sale, and like they just spent so much time unpacking, and then they had to pack it all back up. Like I felt very bad for a lot of the people out there.
Yeah, those were some of the comments Emma was sharing with me as well. Yep.
I just think that time of year, there's so much going on. We all have so much yard work to do for our own properties. And all the sports are starting up for spring. There's just so much going on. It's just really, really difficult to get enough people coming out for a spring Saturday.
I am thinking though, Mike, about what you said about the handful of families that will do this year after year. And I know when our kids were young, we did a lot more of it because we wanted to show that sort of model. This is what we do when we're part of the community. Now, we were involved with Orangeville at the time, not Mono, but I'm just wondering if there could be something really, really simple, such as, You can pick up bags, gloves, at the town office. And, collect garbage and then return the filled bags someplace where it's monitored, maybe back at the Mono office, so that it isn't completely abandoned.
Yeah.
But for people that really, say, hey, this is the day that we're going to collect garbage, or this is the week we're going to collect garbage, you can pick it up, the garbage bags on anytime this week and return it anytime that week at a monitored place. Because I agree, if you just say at a park, it could get out of hand. So it's not completely abandoned, and see what kind of interest there is
What if
in.
we took something, like we've got budget, we do have money for an event, and like I'm listening to all of your comments. What if we were to take what you've said, Anne, take what you've said, Melinda and Mike, cancel the event, but for that 1 week, we choose the week, starting with Earth Day or whatever, and we, give residents a maximum of maybe 3 to 5 garbage tags, so they can come to the office. We'll give them bags, we'll give them gloves, we'll give them garbage tags that they don't have to pay for. And we pay for those garbage tags out of our event budget. And we say to people, this is, hopefully those 5 or 6 families, Mike, would come and pick up tags from us and bags from us. And then they just get to put it right out with their regular garbage pickup. I mean,
That's a good idea, except that then we wouldn't have a handle on it. We'd know you picked up some bags, but we don't know whether you took your old sewing machine from your basement or whether you picked up the junk in the ditch. But how about, Anne was saying, like how about if you brought it to our public works yard?
it'd have to be somewhere where we have a dumpster. Yeah. I mean, it could be just, bring it to Mono Community Center and we say we'll be there between 10 and 4 that day, and we take turns, like saying, 2 of us per hour, or, 2 people for 2-hour shifts or something like that. And there's no big hoopla. It's just thank you. Thank you for bringing that. And, we offer hot apple cider and a donut to anybody who comes.
Yeah, I was going to suggest it would be nice if there was something very minor. Thank you. It might be a $10 Timmy's gift card or something.
I like the hot apple cider and the donut, because it's probably going to be raining and miserable, and we're going to be sitting there for our 2-hour stint.
I always think about stuff that doesn't get used, though. So you're going to buy all these donuts, just like we had all that chili last year that never got used.
You're
So
right.
that's why I was saying maybe a gift card. I don't know, a wrapped chocolate bar, something that if it's not going to be thrown out. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
That's a good idea.
The other reason you maybe want to bring it to a location is that you could weigh it, and you could say we've got Mono Township residents, Town of Mono residents collected 500 pounds of garbage. Thank you. I don't know.
Dave? Like maybe we do something like that.
I kind of like the convenience of simply putting it out with your regular garbage. You don't have to drive someplace in order to take it and put it next to a dumpster. It also reduces your carbon footprint because you don't have people driving all over the place.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
just
point.
you collect the garbage from your local ditch. You put on one of the tags that you got from the town, and that enables you to put out an extra 1 or 2 or 3 bags, whatever. I know you don't get to track the quantity, although you could add people to maybe report it. Don't know.
I wonder if we could if we could make Mono Shine stickers and, make a, um, communicate to the GFL and say, okay, for this week, bags with these stickers on them, please pick them up. And then we would know from the office how many people came in and what can I say,
Stickers.
how many of those stickers we gave out.
Mhm.
So we would
When
know.
when people buy a normal garbage sticker for extra bags, who gets the money? Where does the revenue go to?
Unfortunately, I don't know. I'm not up front. I don't know. I don't know whether it stays in Mona or whether it goes to the county or GFL or I don't know. I don't have that
Yeah,
question. I can
I think
find out.
it either goes to GFL or to the county.
Yeah.
So if we provide an alternative sticker, whoever normally gets the revenue will want the revenue,
Oh, okay. Right, because
right?
they're doing the work. Like yes,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
They're disposing of the garbage. That's why they want to charge. If you have more than your allowed amount, they charge you
Well,
for the
yeah.
sticker
So
because
the
they,
Make Moto Shine sticker would sell for the exact same amount
yeah,
as a garbage tag sticker, but we wouldn't sell it. Like it would, the money's like we would say, okay, like say we gave out 200 of those, and I don't know what's a garbage sticker, it's $2 or something now, or $1 or something.
I don't know.
And then we would just take out of our budget and pay that to GFL. Like,
right, right.
yeah.
you know
That's
what
what we would have
yeah,
to do. Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I,
Well,
Melinda,
no, that's fine. I was just gonna look it up.
I just wanted to add, much like our medical system, where we spend such a huge majority of our funds on treating disease and not nearly enough on disease prevention, we're talking about picking up garbage, but not really preventing that, helping to prevent that garbage in the first place. And one thing, I mean, Mono is an incredibly windy area. So I would like to discuss ideas about, I've looked into it. There's rubber lids that you can affix to your blue boxes that are made out of 100% used tires. There's waterproof box caps with elasticated edges that are lighter and cheaper than the rubber lids. I think we're all underestimating how much garbage is on our roads and properties just because of the wind that is blowing the garbage out of our recycling containers and out of our that can be prevented for just a few dollars. But then again, we probably need a sponsor to roll out a test project, you giving out lids or just
You know,
encouraging
Right.
people to buy lids.
I totally think
A lot of the garbage is,
you've got a really good point, Mike, because in our neighborhood, I'll tell you, if it's a windy day, you can just see the people that don't secure their garbage. It's not just the blue box, it's the garbage cans. And you can just follow. You just follow the garbage.
So I just looked up the Dufferin could get an extra tag is $2.
Okay.
But
does
that's
that,
a good idea. That's a good
Yeah, it is
idea.
a really good idea, Mike. And so that's something that I like. I'm just wondering whether or not, would GFL have challenges because now do they have to take a lid off? Um, so is this something that maybe I don't even know, do we contact the county and say, like they have a whole waste department at the county, right?
Yep.
And maybe this is something that they should be investigating as opposed to a recreation committee.
Dave?
it's correct that a lot of the garbage along our roads comes from people's blue boxes, and it also comes from people's garbage bags because it's windy, but also because people put their stuff out far in advance of the time when it's going to be picked up. You're required to
Right.
have it out by 7 o'clock in the morning. Almost everybody puts it out the night before. And of course, the night before is the time when the raccoons come along and break into your garbage bag and strew the stuff all over the road. Or, if your garbage truck doesn't come until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's sitting out there all morning, and then the crows come and get into the garbage bag and break it open. So the stuff is out on the road, exposed to predators and wind for quite a long period of time. So it requires a behavioral change. See, like I know my garbage truck comes at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's when it comes. So I put it out at 6:45 in the morning, and my stuff never ends up in the ditch or across the road because the guy comes and picks it up within 10 minutes of me leaving it there. But not many people are willing to do that. So that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and you're
Uh-oh, I'm frozen up.
Yep.
No, I
Melinda, you're
think
I'm frozen.
Melinda is
oh,
frozen.
sorry.
there. She goes. She's
Here
back.
they don't. Here they don't. So that was the way I was in the city, I said. And then I said, but here my guide doesn't come till 3 p.m. So I put it out in the morning, but it does sit there. But no, you're right. People put it out, and particularly Mono's got a lot of weekend people, so they'll put it out on Sunday when they leave, and garbage isn't until Tuesday. So
Yeah, and we can't do anything about that. So many people work strange
No,
hours. They put it out when they can.
yeah,
no, you're right. We can't do anything about it.
I think
yeah.
these lids, you really enticed me with this, Mike.
Can you see
Well,
this?
Durham did a
Those are the lids
Dur-
that you can buy at Canadian Tire for the blue bins, $10. Just saying. I'm
yeah,
it's just the one I only Googled one thing and that's what I got.
yeah,
$10, Canadian Tire. It says the type of lids that fit a particular sized blue bin.
and there's also much cheaper box caps, which are elasticated, where you just flip them, affix them to the top. I think they're $3, but we'd have to look at and see what the county would say, and potentially look at sponsors, because if we did go the rubber lid route, you can of course advertise on the top of the rubber lids and have a sponsor hopefully pay for a test project.
So the other thing though, I'm just thinking, I don't know about everybody's garbage collection, but here, if you have your garbage can with a lid on it, they take off the lid, they empty the garbage and the lid's on the ground, separate from, and sometimes it's rolling down the street too. So if that same thing is
Yeah,
going to happen with these blue box lids, I just saying,
yeah.
solve some of the problem, but it maybe creates another one.
Okay, I think this is an awesome discussion, but in the interest of time here, I really do move us on. So I'd like for there to be some type of motion put forward as to whether or not you want to proceed with Make Mono Shine, whether you want to change up the event, whether you want to put a hiatus on for a year, whether you want to just do the thing that we talked about, and that's hand out bags and stickers from the office, and take monies from the budget for Make Mono Shine to pay for the stickers. We'll make our own stickers too. Or do we even need to go to the expense of making our own stickers when, you know, we can Well, no, I'd kind of like to make our own stickers because then people could come in and say, I'd like to buy Make Mono Shine stickers. I don't know.
Certainly, it certainly would be a way to monitor if our people are used to Make Mono Shine, that handful of people that do it,
Yes.
and could you entice more people if it was not necessarily on that Saturday morning, and we could get some numbers. I mean, if we're just going to be comping people some bags, we could just comp everybody one bag. Come on in and get your one comp bag for collecting garbage in yeah, and see how many people bite to get it, as opposed to an unlimited or a big number that costs us more money, right? I mean, I know that we have a little bit of budget, but I know the way budget works now, that if we don't spend it on Make Mono Shine, maybe there's some for something else within rec, and so we're not obligated to spend it on this event. And just kind of so we're taking a pause on the big event, where we all stand around and get cold and disappointed, and just see whether there is but offer something to see whether there's an uptake.
And I would also recommend looking at, I mean, we collected people's information. If we looked at the list of people who picked up garbage over the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, we're going to find the names of the repeat families that maybe we could just, to thank them so much for what they do, maybe we could just drop off, 5, 6 bags to each of those families just by looking at the lists.
So you asked for a motion.
Is that right?
Neither of us gave one.
Well,
Do we actually have names and addresses of those people?
I don't know if we have names and addresses of them.
Well, when they came to the table for the raffle, right, they had to write their name and contact info on it.
So did we keep that? I don't know.
Yeah.
We did.
I'd have to, yeah, I don't know. I certainly don't have it.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion. I'm going to move that we do not have a Make Mono Shine event in 2025. However, we offer the opportunity for residents to pick up as many bags as, let's say, maximum 3 bags. Doesn't have to be 3, it could be 5, whatever you think, with tags to collect garbage, and that they be able to leave these tagged bags with the garbage that they pick up at the end of their driveway with their other garbage within the month. How about something like that?
I like it, but I think it should be a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
It should be a
that
finite.
would be a friendly amendment within 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, 2 weeks.
Of what date? The date?
Well, what date was it going to be?
Okay.
So how about the week prior to Earth Day and the week following Earth Day?
Okay, so that they need to pick up the bags anytime during those 2 weeks, but they also have to be dropped off within those 2 weeks.
Well, put out with their garbage within those 2 weeks.
Yeah. Sure, I'm happy with all those friendly. This is the concept I was trying to get out there. Cancel the event, pick up the bags and tags at, I guess, the Town of Mono office, and drop off the filled bags within some timeline.
Right. And then the logistics of it is that the staff at the front desk takes note of the name and address of the people who have picked up the tags. So there's some sort of there's some sort of a feeling of being policed for it. Plus we get
or being thanked for it. Or being thanked for it.
Or being thanked for it.
Okay.
So there's
So I've
no
got,
provision for dropping anything off anywhere else. It's just to be left on your own property.
on garbage pickup day.
Because
So
some of
in,
these families pick up truckloads, and I'm not sure if they're going to want to bring them back onto their property. They may. I don't know.
Okay, so the motion could be that you could leave it, but if we get requests, I mean, we could be open, right? Couldn't we be open to, because you're right, there were a handful of families who've come out and do something that I guess we could be.
So I see both things are important. It might be people go out with their little kids and get one bag of garbage. They don't want to drive out somewhere to drop it. They can just put it at the end of their street. But if we have people with a truckload, I feel like we should be open to allow them to drop that all off at some location. A mono location where there's a big dumpster and they can be met there by somebody and dump it in. Is there such a place?
and I mean, the only thing we could do, I'm just thinking is, because if they come in and we offer them a maximum of three
Well, that's just it.
Make Mono Shine stickers, right? So that's 3 bags of garbage. Like that's a lot of roadside garbage that they're picking up. Like it really is. And other than the one time that I saw Hockley Valley Resort staff come in with a truckload of garbage, which was great because they picked up all kinds of garbage around their property and brought it in to make Mono Shine. That's about the only time I've seen where there's been, more than 3 bags. What I've written here is, in lieu of the Make Mono Shine event for 2025, residents will be offered the opportunity to pick up Make Mono Shine tags, Make Mono Shine garbage tags, I'll make that, at the office, at the town office, and leave this tag garbage out on their regular pickup days for 1 week prior to Earth Day and 1 week following Earth Day.
You've got to have, and you'll have the date, of course, the Earth date.
Yeah.
We don't see it in my calendar, but yeah, I think that sounds good. Dave, what are you thinking?
I could go along with that, yeah.
So I'm just
also
thinking,
going to give them bags, right? Tags, bags, and gloves.
We're going to give them bags, gloves, and stickers. A maximum of 3 per household.
I suppose if somebody comes in and says, I'm bringing my whole grade 2 class, and so we need 10 bags,
If they're bringing their whole grade 2 class, then,
if they need
then
more
we'll
than
give
3
them a
bags,
maximum of 1 per every grade 2 person. So they have, 32 bags.
Well, yeah.
But do you really think one grade
for every 2 kids?
Yeah,
Anyway.
but you really think they're going to fill up 1 full bag each? So
No, I know. What I'm saying is maybe we don't need a max of 3.
Well,
Maybe.
I think we do, because I really don't want to get into that people are cleaning out their garages and putting Make Mono Shine stickers on them. So this is not meant for free clean out your garage day. This is meant for, pick up the garbage in your ditches, pick up the garbage at the parks, at the trails, and bring it home with you, put a sticker on it, and we'll pick it up for free.
When we had the little kiddies come and take the bags for the last couple of years, when they had like this last year, we had the Girl Guides there and everything. They went off, toddled off and whatever, and they came back with, not much in the bag, right? In contrast to the gal across the way on the neighbor of Mono Center, who had the landscaping company. They came with gators. They had their gator full. I think they took 3 trips or whatever with their gator. And then there was that family that Mike's referring to with the big black pickup that just randomly won then the raffle, which was good. They ended up getting a lot of the raffle things. But generally speaking, people who come to Mono Center get a bag and then
We lost you again,
lost you again.
Melinda. You're frozen. Yep, there you're back.
I think a limit is a good idea. Earth Day, I looked it up. Earth Day for 2025 is April 22nd. Which I don't know whether it's always April 22nd.
So it'd be from April the 15th, or it'd be the Monday before or after that. So April 15th, 16th, April 17th, for 2 weeks, right?
Well, April 22nd is a Tuesday, which is random. So the 15th is the Tuesday before, and the 29th is the Tuesday after. So I don't know how you want to do it.
Well, okay, so then April 16th to April 28th. No, 30th.
Yeah.
Right?
Wednesday to
Make it-
Wednesday. Yeah.
Why not go
Okay.
Tuesday to Tuesday?
Okay, just give me the dates, guys. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'd say the
Well,
15th to the 29th.
the 15th to the 30th.
Yeah, well, that's the Wednesday, but yeah, the 29th is the
Whatever.
Tuesday.
Like,
Yeah,
nobody
includes it.
has
Okay.
on Monday. There's no garbage day on Monday, right?
My garbage is picked up on Tuesdays. Is everybody else here in Mono picked up on Tuesdays? They don't do the whole thing, do they?
They set it up.
They do.
that it has garbage day on Monday because holidays always fall on Mondays.
Right.
Right. Okay, so 15 to 29 of April.
Got it.
Okay.
You need a mover and a seconder.
Well, you'll move it because
Did
it's
Ann move
yours,
that?
and I'll second it.
Who moved it?
I thought I moved it.
Okay,
Right?
Ann.
I made the motion.
Yeah, there were some friendly amendments, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I accepted all those friendly amendments. If we're going to be specific, I made the motion. I accepted all those friendly amendments.
We don't have to stand in the rain this year. Yay.
Yeah.
No, that's terrific, you guys. That's good. That's good. And we'll get some Make Mono Shine stickers made up, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And we'll record how many of those how many people come and pick them up.
Yeah, maybe take their picture or something like that. So do something. There's lots of things we could do to monitor it.
I'm just looking here, and I'm thinking that GoToMeeting is going to cut us off very shortly because it's normally only booked for 90 minutes. And we still have Winterfest. So what I'm thinking is that I will send you out the task list for Winterfest. I have filled in a number of the tasks. Some of them have already been completed, like with what the town staff or people from the past have done. I'll just ask you to look that, either if your name's been put on something, take it off or leave it. If you leave it, that means, yep, you're good with it. If you don't see your name on there, then just put your name at what you want to do or what you're willing to do. And the same thing with the Snowflake Draw donations list. I've put that together as well. And again, I've put a number of, between Emma and myself, like we're used to dealing with a lot of these people, but I threw some new people in. I threw some new possible vendors in there as well. And if you guys could take a look at that and possibly be willing to approach those other new ones, that would be great. So what do you say? I just send it out and we do it that way. The biggest change that I'm strongly recommending is no chili. way too much work, way too much cost, not enough people eating it. So, and I don't think that's a reflection of how it tastes, because it tastes so good. Instead, we just stick with our foot-long hot dogs, vegetarian dogs, samosa, or what are those? Yeah, samosas.
Yeah.
But I cut back on those. I said 200 as opposed to the 500 that we bought last year.
And
And
lots
we
of
just,
donuts.
And
Yeah,
donuts.
but
Everybody
those
donuts.
other funny round donuts that nobody liked.
no, I said no to those.
No donuts. The regular good old fashioned donuts, but the
Regular good old fashioned donuts.
because we've still got the hot drinks, right? The coffee, the hot chocolate, the cider, right? Like donuts
Do
go.
we want to get together the Toonie table, which is always a success with those Rice Krispie squares and those cookies,
And donuts.
and donuts, and we, you know, we did make those as well when we were making the chili last year. So do we want to say, yeah, we'll get together and we'll do the Rice Krispie squares and the cookies, being the Costco cookies that you just then put out on.
Bake them.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to just, what do you want to do for that Toonie table?
I don't know how many donuts were left over. I think most of the donuts went.
Yeah.
I don't know about the cookies though. I was only there for the first 2 hours and I don't know how many, there were a lot left. When I
Yeah,
left, there was 2
all the
hours.
donuts were gone because I sent some of my volunteers in near the end. I promised them donuts, and there were no donuts.
Okay.
So I don't know if we made too many cookies or not enough. That's why
Well,
I'm.
do donuts cost? What's the cost on things? If we're selling stuff for $2, do you get a donut these days for less than $2?
I think we pay $1.50 per donut now from Zares. No, it's $1.50 a donut.
We make money on the donuts and we
All right.
make money on the cookies. If we sell them all. If we don't sell them all, we don't obviously make money.
Right, but the cookies have to be less than $1.50 a piece if you're
Oh,
actually
the
doing
cookies are 35
Sell
cents
them
each
in twos.
35 cents each. Okay, right.
to make.
So we
Yeah.
sell them in twos, yeah. But still, if you only sell a half of them, you're still not making any money. And you've taken a whole 3 hours to make them.
But we have them for Valentine's euchre.
Right.
Yeah, I think yes.
We're
The
going to
answer is
save
yes.
them for Valentine's euchre?
Pardon me?
It's 2 weeks. You're going to save them for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Well, no, Valentine. Yeah, it's February 5th to February 14th, so 9 days. Yeah,
No,
so
it's
2 weeks
February
from when we
2nd.
make it.
February
Oh,
2nd.
February 2nd. Yes, February 2nd.
Yeah, to February 14th. It's 12 days. And yes,
Yep.
you can freeze them.
We'll freeze
Isn't
them.
that what we did? Freeze the cookies and then thaw them out? The chili was a problem freezing because it smelt up the freezer. I say yes, but I don't know.
Yeah,
No
I
other
don't
votes?
mind, you know, I don't mind making the cookies and the Rice Krispie squares.
Okay, let's go. Let's go for it.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
All right.
We'll do
Okay.
that. So we'll just, yeah, we meet again January 15th. So more than likely we'll make all of this stuff on the Thursday before Winterfest. So whatever date that is.
The Thursday before the 2nd.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? The
Yeah.
event is on the event.
That'd be
Wait
the
a second.
30th of
Event is done-
January. 30th of
That's the
January
31st.
is, oh, the Tuesday before is
On
the
the-
28th
No.
of January.
Thursday.
So what's the Thursday
January
before to make the cookies there?
You're right.
And
That's the
you got your
30th.
calendar.
Yeah.
So we'll make
cookie-
cookies and that on January 30th
Yeah.
in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, everybody?
Yep. And the Winterfest is on the Sunday. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, but we're going to meet on the 15th for a meeting, right? Is that what you just said?
Yes, yes.
It'd be nice, maybe have like 5% of the snacks be gluten-free if possible.
Okay. Does Costco sell gluten-free cookies?
I don't know.
And Rice Krispies have got to be gluten-free. Where's the gluten in that? It's rice.
I think the Rice Krispie squares are gluten-free, and I'm pretty sure we got some gluten-free buns. Did we get some gluten-free buns for the hot dogs last year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Sawdust.
Yep.
I think that covers it.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Awesome.
So our next meeting date is January the 15th at 5:30. It'll be virtual again. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Yes.
Okay, second, Dave. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you.
Good night.
everyone. And
Bye.
happy holidays if I don't see you.
Yep.
Yes. Merry
Merry
Christmas, everybody.
Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, take care, you guys.